everyone. Hopefully the stream is up and running. I believe it is. How's the audio? Is anyone in the chat? Feel free to say hi. Oop, bit of an echo. Anyone in the chat? Feel free to say hi. 1 second. Just gotta mute myself on Twitch. Woohoo! Hey, everyone's tuning in. Love to see it. All right. Brian, can you please make a Discord announcement in the server? Or Greta, one of you? Awesome, awesome, awesome. Brian front and center, that's right. All right, so in just about, 30 to 40 seconds from now, we'll start introducing ourselves. We got an exciting stream here today. It's the most important one yet. The Beastmoon Roundtable, so happy to be here. We got the KI team with us. Such an amazing group of staff. Just an honor and a privilege to have them with us here today, discussing Beastmoon, all there is to it. Of course, I'm in test realm right now, for no particular reason, but if you want to kind of hang out with us, you can go to the main Ambrose realm and stand around with us. Alright, so hello. Alright, this is just about ever 31 people here, and people are going to keep coming in too. Alright, so let me start off. Hello, everyone in the chat. Hello, Alora. I'm going to start off by just introducing myself, because a lot of people are kind of brand new to my content as well. So, my name is Gladrocker. I'm a brand new streamer on Twitch. I've been on the platform for a little over 2.5 months, okay? So I started April 20th. We're approaching that 3-month anniversary pretty soon. I play a couple different games, but WIZARD101 is definitely one of my main games that I play. I love this game. I've been playing WIZARD101 for over a decade, so I'm a WIZARD101 veteran. And as most of you know who have been with me for so long at this point, Beastmoon is my favorite aspect of the game. Not to say there isn't so many other, wonderful activities WIZARD provides. I used to be a heavy PvP community member, and I've done a lot of housing, decorating, all that stuff too. There's so much WIZARD has to offer. I could spend an hour talking about all that alone, but lately I've been primarily focused on Beastmoon Hunt and Mayhem, and all there is to it. So, on that note, I have the KI team with us today. So first, we're going to introduce, they're all going to introduce each other. So Sparck, how about you go ahead first and introduce yourself to the chat?
Yeah, sure thing. Hey, Chad, how's everybody doing? How is Test Realm right now? I'm actually with you. You're probably, you see me on your screen, actually. I'm over there just hanging out with the rest of everybody in the arena. My name is Spark. I go by that in the community. I'm the senior community manager at Kings Isle, and I helped Gladrocker to, organize our team. This was one of his ideas, and one of the things we love to do is have these roundtables with community leaders, live streamers, anybody in the community that has interest in these sort of things, so that we can chat about a certain topic, like today being Beastmoon Hunt and Beastmoon anything really. I think we're going to have a really fantastic chat, and I really look forward to it.
Thank you, Spark. Alright, so how about another member of KI team introduces themselves? We'll just kind of go around.
All right, I can jump in if nobody is. Hello, I'm Professor Falmea. I'm the game director for Kings Isle. When we released Beastmoon 2 years ago, it was a really, really challenging update to put in, but it's one of my favorite things that we've done in the last few years. I think it's so much fun, and Fire Elf for life. So.
Fire Elf. All right, so feel free to jump in. Anyone else on the team? No particular order.
Can you all hear me right now?
Yep.
All right, this is Ratbeard. I am lead design on WIZ101, except, as you may not know, when it comes to Beastmoon, which is sort of Artie's baby. So I'm going to hang out in the chat on the Twitch stream, and I'll pipe in here if I'm needed, but I'm really more here to learn, I think.
Awesome.
All right, I guess I'm next. I'm Rand, Senior World Builder. I was the one who built most of the maps for the Beastmoon. And Deaf Ninja Pig. Let's do it.
That's a good one.
Rand, sorry, I have to jump in. Rand is also like the event coordinator. He's the one who gets us to do the dev tests and the tests on Test Realm. So he's like our event party guy.
That's awesome.
Total pusher.
Hey guys, this is Artie, or Granite Heart on the forums. I'm also a lead designer here at Kings Isle. and I look into sort of spearheading some of the new features and stuff. So like the event, a lot of the events, Beastmoon, Treasure Tower. Then I'm also doing social stuff in addition to the Beastmoon. And I love them all. I love all the forms.
That's
They're
great.
my children. They're my children. I love them.
Happy to have you here. All right, anyone else?
I think we got everybody.
Perfect.
Somebody mentioned the Test Realm developer events. So, especially during Test Realms, but we'll do this for live too. Just yesterday, I think you were live streaming actually as well, Gladrocker. You were live streaming our 4 o'clock, always Central Time. Whenever we mention time zones here, we jumped on Test Realm and played a little Beastmoon Monster Mayhem with the community at 4 o'clock, and that was very appreciated because, you know, some of these events, it takes, you know, a certain threshold of people, you know, to get together, and there's not as many obviously on Test Realm as there is on the live servers. So we might, you know, depending on the community's interest, run another 1 or 2 of those on Test Realm yet.
Absolutely, that was a ton of fun. I participated in that event. We had a lot of the devs here yesterday, you know, testing out Mayhem on Test Realm, of course. And what an awesome map, Avalon Mayhem map. So cool to have all the schools together, you know. That was a wonderful time. And plus, my team came so close. We got, you know, just 10 seconds short of a win on Wave 3. So almost had it, but it is possible, definitely.
Aw.
Yeah. All right. So, and one more person to introduce themselves. Patrick, how about you, buddy?
Hey, I'm Patrick. Go by Patrick Icehammer on the game. I have been a member of Duelist 101 and Final Bastion for a while. Not quite as active these days. Mostly just running around with Jeff on Beastmoon for a while, and just glad to participate and join in. Really thankful for the KI devs. I think it's great that it seems like the company's interacting more with the community between the devs. It seems like that's a great way to get feedback, and so I really enjoy participating in the back and forth.
Absolutely, and so happy to have you here as well, Patrick. All right, so now that everyone's introduced themselves, also I see the chat, lots of awesome content already provided by all of you. Just a little reminder, at the end of the stream, we'll have chat Q&A. So please do, feel free to ask stuff, you know, throughout the stream, but we'll give, you know, especially attention at the end to all of your questions. So try to come up with some stuff. All right, cool. So, you know, so Beastmoon, just in general, is such a passion of mine, as I said, just about 8 minutes ago when we started. You know, this is the biggest facet of WIZARD101 I've been into lately. I've been playing Beastmoon for, I'd say, roughly, you know, a year and 2 months at this point. I think I started May 2020 when the Storm Wolf came out. That was my first form. Such a wonderful event, though. There's so many reasons why I love it. I do want to encourage everyone, you know, if you're here and you have not tried it yet, please do give it a try. It comes for 1 week every month, and it rotates around with the other monthly events. And of course, you can always Google the monthly calendar. You know, the KI team does a good job showing which events come next in line, right? So whenever Beastmoon Hunter Mayhem comes around, definitely participate in that. And, you know, some reasons why I enjoy it, I'm sure a lot of you agree with me. For one thing, and this is not just a Wizard thing, this is just games in general. A lot of people complain about, you know, pay to win when it comes to just pretty much any video game out there. Beastmoon has no pay-to-win aspect whatsoever. It is all play-to-win, right? Because the main currency you get for winning the games is Lunari. And you could check your Lunari by going to the kiosk here. Let me just open this up. I'm on Test Realm, of course, right now. But, so it's going to show, you know, kind of a funky number that doesn't really correspond to my actual net. Yeah, I don't actually have 4.8k. I wish I did because that's a lot. But every time you win or lose a Beastmoon match, you get a certain amount of Lunari. And I think numbers-wise, if you lose a hunt, you get 10 to 15. And if you win a hunt, you get 20 to 30. And that's what you use to upgrade your levels and tiers of your forms. So, you know, the more you play, the better you get. And it kind of leads into one of my other points. Anyone can play. You don't need to, you know, you don't have to have had a Wizard account for, you know, a year or something like that. Anyone now, and plus I play some other games, so I draw people from different communities. So some of you might be here from other gaming communities that I've drawn towards this stream. All of you could try it out. You know, it's free to play. It's not part of the membership. And all you have to do is be level 10, which, you know, that's easy to get. So that's another aspect of why, you know, anyone could jump into Beastmoon too, you know. It's not, locked behind anything. There's so many amazing forms, right? If you think about it, so I'm a myth wizard, right? I'm maxed out, I'm level 140, and I've done some PvP before. I'm not good at all at max PvP, that is. I'm better at lower level PvP, excuse me. But let's say one day I want to try out life PvP. It's really not too feasible. I mean, I can make a life wizard, and I can quest with it and get to the level that I want for PvP. That's possible, and that's a ton of fun too, don't get me wrong. But let's say I want to do that right now. I want to just jump into competitive PvP with a healer. I got my J deck too, but what you could do is just join a Beastmoon match. There's tons of different life forms you could pick, and that's just one example. You could play any school here, right? So let me just pull up some random forms. Right, so you got your healers, like the Life Drake. And there's so much involved in this too, so this is just a really short overview. But you got your death forms, your balance forms, ice forms. This one's a brand new one, by the way, which I particularly like. We tried that out a lot in Mayhem yesterday. Just every school, has, I believe, 4 forms. If not, then after this test realm, every school will have at least 4 forms. But there's so many different options, right? And of course, no more than one person can take a statue per game. So there can only be one Colossus in a Beastmoon match, but you could choose fire, ice, or life. So there's just so many different options. Another reason why Beastmoon is just so easily accessible, and it's just a wonderful time. There's really cool creative hit conditions too. This is something that makes Beastmoon especially exciting. Let me just pull up any ideas from chat right now for cool conditions for certain hits. I will wrap up this intro pretty shortly too, because there's just so much we want to talk about today as well. But there's really awesome things. Like for instance, the Death Cyclops. I like how there's an afterlife spell that's not especially for healing, because in game, of course, there's Guardian Spirit, which heals. It's an afterlife, but this is like a damage-based afterlife. There's minion conditions where a minion needs to be present for a hit to take effect. Afterlife, exactly, chat, exactly. So many cool, exciting conditions. Pretty much every form has them. Makes the game super, super intense. I also like how there's the addition-subtraction aspect. It's easier numbers, it's more simplistic. In main game, you're using multiplication and division with blades, traps, and shields, all that. But with Beastmoon, you're mainly working with addition, subtraction, so it's quick math you could do on the spot. That's never too difficult. Exactly. Let's see, is there anything else I want to point out before I jump into the next thing? I do like how repeatable and playable Beastmoon is. Each match of Hunt on average takes about 30 minutes. That's not a confirmed number, but just I've played a ton of matches. I have almost 900 wins myself, and I'd say the average is about 30 minutes per Hunt. That's a perfect time, right? If you have 2 hours of playtime, you can get a good at least 4 games in and try out different forms there too. That makes it exciting as well. So, I do have many
Did
awesome...
you say 900 matches? Or 900
yeah,
wins?
Almost 900 wins. Probably around 2,000 matches.
That's amazing. Can anybody in chat beat that? Because that's really impressive.
Good question. Anyone in chat, can you top that number? I'm sure there's some Beastmoon heroes out there. I'm super excited to get the Beastmoon hero badge myself eventually. That's at 1,000 wins right now. So let us know in chat if you are a hero. Awesome. That's crazy. Yeah. Like I said, just such a fun game. Yeah, it really flew by. The past year of playing Beastmoon, I never missed a week too. I played every single week, collected all the forms that have been given out in the rewards bar. So let me continue on now. Just a few tips too before we start jumping into questions, with the KI team. The last thing I'll say on this is, if you're starting to get into Beastmoon, it could be a little overwhelming. There's a lot of concepts that are not from the main game inside of Beastmoon, but some pointers to keep in mind. Don't start battles solo, right? It's a team game. There's two 2v2 rings, 2 3v3 rings, and 1 4v4. You always want to make sure you don't hop in alone. That's super important, otherwise you're at a disadvantage immediately. You want to make sure you get pips as soon as the game begins, as soon as the match or the Beastmoon, arena that you're in begins. Because if you join a fight without a pip, again, you're at a disadvantage immediately. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, every form has a certain amount of bonus pips. For instance, the Balance Cyclops has 0 bonus pips. The Fire Cyclops has 1. An example of one with 2 would be the Life Drake, see 2 bonus pips, and then some even have 3 bonus pips, like the Ice Elf and the Balance Fairy right now. You want to make sure you get those pips. They're there for a reason. That's all in the form balancing. There's a reason that bonus pips exist, so don't, so take the extra time, because I know sometimes it takes a while to go around and get the pips, but super important that you do that. Oh yeah, there's a difference between tiering and leveling. I get this question all the time when I'm streaming Beastmoon events. So let me just show you the kiosk again. I'm gonna go to a random forum here. Let's just pop open the ice glasses. I actually don't have this. Oh, well, I'll go to one that I have unlocked, actually. That makes more sense. Dead Cyclops. Let's do Balanced Cyclops. Perfect. So upgrade level, upgrade tier. This is my own opinion. Feel free to disagree in chat, but in my personal opinion, you should never upgrade to level, only tier. And that's just because tier is permanent and level is temporary. When you upgrade your level, it's cheaper, it requires less resources to upgrade. But of course, at the end of that week of Beastmoon, you will no longer have that level. It will revert back to whatever your tier is. But when you upgrade a tier, see, it's way more expensive here. It takes more grinding to get. But the following month, when Beastmoon comes out, you will have it to set to whatever tier you're at. So highly, highly, highly advise everyone focuses. Not to say, I mean, you can upgrade level if you're in a pinch or whatnot, but definitely incentivize saving up your Lunari. And of course, like I said earlier, you get that from winning or losing Beastmoon games, just from playing the games, for the tiers themselves. And the last but not least, oh yeah, of course, you want to press tab. A lot of people don't know this. If you press tab, it doesn't do anything right now, of course, but in a Beastmoon, it shows the 6 people on your team and the 6 players on the opposing team, what forms they pick. Super important. I like to just, you know, kind of scope out what forms the opposing team takes early on in the match in the base to determine what schools have the advantage for when I pick my own form. And also, you want to get your Beastmoon seeds planted all the time, because you get idols to upgrade your tiers using Beastmoon seeds. So on that note, that wraps up my helpful tips for all of you when it comes to Beastmoon. I'm sure there's many more as well. So I have a couple questions I'd like to get into, and the KI team is here to help, you know, discuss these points with me. You know, first, I get a lot of questions when I'm streaming Beastmoon, just for fun. People are so creative, and we appreciate, I'm sure KI team appreciates this so much as well, the creativity that all of you have when it comes to just design of the game. A lot of you have come up with your own forms and whatnot. I mean, what goes into designing a new form? That's a question for the KI team. We'd all love to know the process behind that, because, I mean, you've been dishing out so many new forms recently, pretty much in every test run. They've all been awesome. So that's just my question to the team right now. What goes into designing a new Beastmoon form? So feel free, anyone, to hop in.
Sure. Well, the first thing is that you know, I work with Rand, and we kind of monitor the current meta of what's going on in Beastmoon. So that's the first thing, is we kind of look at, you know, what are emerging sort of dominant combinations, or is there a predominant effect that's sort of showing some prominence in the meta. And then I start to, at that point, assign model and pair up model and school. So I try to make sure that everything's evenly distributed. So there's some options there, though, like in terms of countering something or introducing a form that can counter whatever the emerging meta is at that time. And so then once we kind of have this sort of array of beast form sort of school and model pairings, then I start looking into the predominant role each model or each new form would take, and see how that fits in with what has been done historically, and kind of and how it may fit into things moving forward. And if this is let me know if any of this is too dry, but this is just sort of how
No, this is great. This is perfect.
So then I have an idea of the role, or a primary and secondary role for each of the new forms. Like in the next milestone, we're doing 5 new forms, so that's 50 new spells. So
Awesome.
then I start to think about how each new form would play differently than any other form. So every form should have some unique quality that makes how it plays, or how it plays with other forms, different from any other form. And sometimes that means introducing a new unused or seldom used mechanic, or coming up with a new condition that may be interesting, like the Fire Colossus has a conditional minion summon, and things like that are kind of interesting. Or like, you know, I love the Life Colossus. Like when we were doing the community test on Test Realm, I was the Life Colossus. And on round 3, I was outside, so doing support for the people fighting the boss on round 3, and they got wiped except for one Balance Wolf And I was able to join with him having 25 hit points left,
Mm-hmm.
which is, anybody knows Beastmoon, all health and damage is divisible by 25.
Exactly.
So that was as close to death as possible. And I was able to do Dark Protector, which, again, for those who don't know, that's a power unique to the Life Colossus, which redirects all damage to intercepts all damage and redirects it to himself.
Yep, it's a
so
100% intercept, exactly.
Yeah, and I was able to keep him up. So anyway, that was cool. Anyway, so then I start thinking about what are the unique what are the unique qualities of each of the new forms, and then I have to map out all the I have to see how it fits within the overall meta for all the existing spells. So I need to see how it synergizes, what it synergizes with, and what it counters, and then and then that's where things start to take shape, where what sort of hanging effects or what sort of combat conditions can it leverage, and what things can it counter, and then that's when I start piecing together the actual spells and the actual conditions. And so I try to keep a certain number of the spells kind of straightforward, and then I try to make sure that the form has a sort of focused purpose. And then there you go. So that's basically it. So then after that, I kind of start looking at spell progression and kind of how as you tier it up or level it up, it can expand its it can become more versatile or more flexible in terms of how it drives synergies with other schools or other forms and things like that. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
Good answers. Yeah, you brought up some great points, and one of them I want to draw a bit of attention to that you've done such a good job doing. You said every new form you try to give it something like a unique spin, right? So I'm on Test Realm right now. It's super easy to show all of you the 3 newest forms that are coming out very soon. The Ice Fairy is one of them, and of course it has Pacify, which that's not, that hasn't been introduced into Beastmoon yet, so that gives a unique twist to the Ice Fairy. Of course, the Fire Cyclops has Taunt, which we haven't seen yet either in Beastmoon. So that's definitely going to affect the meta a bit, which is super exciting. And last but not least, we have the Death Draconian with Needful Things. It's basically inserting cards into the opposing player's decks to kind of clutter their decks. So that's really cool. Every single form, if you look back at previously released forms too, they all have something unique to them, which just makes it more fun to play a variety of forms. So great answers. Awesome. There's a lot, as you can see, everyone, there's a lot of, the process is big to come out with a Beastmoon form. It's not just, put out there on the fly. There's a lot of math and there's a lot that goes into it, right? So my next question for the KI team, on that note, because we're talking about what goes into designing a new form, could we see any new statues in the future, possibly? Because there, again, have been so many awesome suggestions by the community. I've seen so many amazing tweets out there from all of you. And I think we'd love to see an expanded roster at some point. Is this something we can maybe look forward to in the future?
Possibly. I mean, each of the forms has its own sort of personality. And so you can the idea was, each form has a distinctive silhouette, and then it has certain properties that the players can become familiar with. And so if we start to break that, it may lead to some uncertainty as to what things are, basically.
Right, I see what you're saying.
But yeah, I mean, we've discussed various things about expanding the roster, because Wizard has such a great roster of creatures that we could draw from, and so it would certainly be kind of interesting. But yeah,
we've seen Artie. We've seen a lot of people in the community forums, and this is, by the way, great. I'm going to plug our forums for a second here, because
please do.
It's helpful especially if somebody's a little verbose and has a couple of paragraphs to describe their vision of a new beast form or a new whatever, or an adjustment to something. That's great in the forums, because you have room for that. You can create a new thread if there's no current topic. You can reply to somebody who's already started the topic that you kind of wanted to talk about. and we have an entire section called the dorms for ideas of new things, and that would include new beast forms. So if you have interest in new beast forms, especially ones like that you were just mentioning, things that are elsewhere in the game, a monster that, hey, that would actually look cool as a new beast form or something like that. Whatever your ideas are, put them in the forums, because we watch those pretty carefully.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, just to echo that. Yeah, I mean, I read the forums regularly, and so if there are forum ideas or someone had been posting an idea of a monster they felt or a creature that they felt would be might be cool for the Death Draconian that we're looking at. And so if you guys have ideas like that, definitely put them in the forums. And I'm not saying that we won't ever have different statues or whatever. That's something we can certainly explore. So if you have ideas of like, oh, this model might be, or this creature might be an interesting alternative to the Colossus as an example, then definitely post it on the forums, because we're keeping note of all these things.
There, and just to clarify, and then there was somebody who commented about this, the forums, we can't respond to everybody and to comment on your particular idea, especially ideas, because there's so many awesome ideas. But we do our best to read them and at least internally go, oh, here's somebody who posted about this one idea, and there's like 15 other people, especially who are responding, commenting on the idea, that we see them. We may not respond, sometimes we're able to, but don't feel like we're ignoring you or anything like that because we don't get a chance to personally respond to your particular post.
Yeah, good points, exactly. And again, there's so much like overwhelmingly creative ideas out there. So exciting to see all of you have input. So never be afraid to, share your ideas, right? All right, so real quick, before I jump into the next question, let's do a quick little giveaway. We'll make it really quick. Wolf or any of the mods, just make it followers only right now, please and thank you. So super easy to join. All you have to do in the chat, starting right about now, perfect. Type the password is Beastmoon, so just how it is, right? BEASTMOON, and in 15 seconds I'll pick one of you, okay? So make sure you type Beastmoon. Let's see how many people are participating. A lot of you. Yep, there's that number spiking up. I was waiting for that. There was a bit of a delay there. Now it's up to like 30 people now. Perfect. There it is. All right, I'll give it another 5 or 10 seconds here, right? All right, good. All right, I'm gonna roll it. So, by the way, I should say this is for 2,500 crowns. Here it is. Last call. I know a lot of people are still typing. Last call, get it in the chat. Beastmoon's the password. Don't be shy. Pick me. Okay, just put Beastmoon down. All right, ready? 3, 2, 1. And you just won 2,500 crowns. Thank you. Let's see. So disable, perfect. I'm gonna send you a code, and can you just type in the chat, please? Congratulations. There'll be plenty more giveaways too as we go along here. So, and just shoot me a little message, in the chat, or just whisper me in the chat. I'll get that code to you. There it is, perfect. So, give me like 5 seconds here. There you are, whisper, and enjoy your code. There it is, 2,500 crowns, perfect. All right, so my next question for the KI team, it's kind of on a similar note. The Beastmoon maps are so beautiful. We love them all. There's 4 right now. Aquila, Avalon, Celestia, and Mirage, of course. By the way, in chat, which one's your favorite? My personal favorite, I'd say Avalon, I think looks the coolest. They all look amazing, don't get me wrong, but I particularly like Avalon. And Celestia is cool to watch your, the models swim around. But, what kind of goes into, if you could just talk briefly into what goes into, creating a new map, and, can we see new maps in the future? Can anyone shed some light onto that as well? Because we just talked about forums. How about Beastmoon maps?
Yeah. Yes, more maps. All of them.
I like how Gladrocker you ask 2 questions with a, we're going to see more in there. So I'm curious on the answer to that one, actually.
Well, I am hopeful that we'll be able to build a new map out. I'm sure we're going to. I plan on it, so I'm going to do my part to build out a rough draft of one, and then we'll get the artist to make it pretty and figure out a world for it. But I'm kind of hoping we can do a caramel map next. But that's just what I'd like to see.
That sounds awesome.
And right now is my favorite map is the Celestia map. That's one of my, I really enjoyed building that one.
That's such a great one. Yeah, every map is symmetrical. Every map is also in the dark, right? Every map is at nighttime because it is Beastmoon after all, right? So it's cool to see areas and zones that you see normally in the game in daylight, but in Beastmoon, you have them with the moon above you in the dark. Just truly beautiful artwork in those maps. Another reason why you should check out Beastmoon, right? So thank you for shedding some light on that. Appreciate it.
My favorite map is my favorite map is the one where I win. All the maps that I win,
Best
that's my
answer
favorite
ever.
map.
Yeah.
There you go. That's mine too. I never win, but that's mine too.
Awesome.
I'm gonna jump in here for a second since I'm watching the chat. Someone in chat said Polaris, and
Ooh,
Polaris is it'd be a good choice. And I think Rand might have been doing some experimenting quite a while ago with some slippery, slidey effects on the maps, which could be kind of fun as well. So
Oh my gosh, that
that's
sounds
not a bad
awesome.
idea.
Can't imagine that sliding right into Spiral and your team's all angry at you, starting a 1v4 right down the ice. Oh my gosh. That sounds awesome though, I like that a lot. Cool. Alright. And then, so my next question, I'm going to ask the question in just a second, but I don't necessarily want the answer to be yes, and you'll see why. Basically, my question now is revolving around Lunari. Lunari, of course, is the currency that we use to upgrade our forms. So, the first question that comes to mind is, can we get other ways to get Lunari besides just through Beastmoon? Because, it is definitely a grind to max out a tier with your Lunari, max out your form to tier 5 with Lunari, but then again, to kind of counteract that point, it only makes it more rewarding, right? There's a reason, I'm sure, why it's a little bit more difficult to, get Lunari from matches, and that's only because when you finally get those tier 5 forms, it's just so awesome to take those in following that and show them off. So, I don't know, can we see other avenues of getting Lunari in the game in the future, do you think? And of course, these are never confirmed answers, this is just speculation.
Well, I'm happy to say you'll be very happy with my answer, and the answer is no.
That's
no,
totally...
There's no plans. There's for the reasons you mentioned.
Yeah.
That why Lunari is hard to come by. Why we don't want to necessarily make it too easy to get, because it should be a reflection of longer term investment, and then you're kind of focusing your attentions on whatever thing you want, whatever form you want to tier up. So right now, I'd be hesitant to increase the access. We could diversify it, but then I would want to bring down the amounts you get from the current sources, so that we could kind of spread it about. That would be cool. But I'm pretty happy with kind of the Lunari earn rate and stuff.
Yeah, no, that's a good answer, definitely. Like I said, it makes it more of a grind. I only have one tier 5 right now. Of course, it's the Death Cyclops, as everyone could see on my badge. Very proud to wear that one, especially because I don't think there's any other Death Cyclops tier 5s out there. If anyone in the chat is, let me know. It's not a confirmed thing or not, but I may be the only one in WIZARD101 to have that. I don't know. But I'm very proud of that form. And it took a while to get, and that only makes it more rewarding, like we just said. And on that note, we're going to do Q&A at the end, but I did see something in the chat. Someone suggested raising the cap for Lunari. Just to briefly go over that, the cap right now is 5,000. I think that's a good idea, because to max out from 4 to 5 on a particular form, it requires 4,800 Lunari. And of course, once you're at the 5k cap, you can't gain any more Lunari after that. So a lot of people I know, I've had friends in the past, didn't realize, didn't check, they were at 5k, played a few matches, and just kind of burned that Lunari. It didn't go anywhere, they didn't get any because they hit that cap. So I could see that being a great idea in the future, kind of raising the cap, I don't know, maybe just 1,000 or 2, just so if you don't know what to tier 5 yet, you can keep gaining a little bit more before you stop gaining it. I don't know, just an idea I saw in the chat. That was a good point. Whoever that was, I'm sorry, I don't know exactly who said that, but good point. All right. So everyone knows that Beastmoon is one of the WIZARD101 monthly events. It lasts for a week. We mentioned this earlier today. Could we see Beastmoon occurring more frequently in the future? Because a lot of my friends and a lot of avid Beastmoon players, on the off weeks, they're wishing they could just play more and more Beastmoon. Could we see that appearing more frequently?
Possibly. Like, that's something we're exploring. Like, it makes things. Right now, things are designed with a certain event cadence. Whether it's Lunari acquisition or what have you. And
right.
So, but I have put together a design as to what we may need to add or change to make it more accessible. It does need to be sort of a balance, because some of the advantages that you mentioned early, we just need to be mindful of is that, it is open to everyone, and it isn't necessarily connected to experiencing other portions of the game and things like that. So we just need to make sure that it fits better within the overall games ecosystem and things like that. Because right now it's really cool and it's sort of, in its own little place. But it is, that is something we're discussing, kind of like, where do we want to take it? What do we want to do with it and things like that? And so it is under consideration. Making
Awesome.
It more available.
Yeah, no, definitely. I agree with your points. Also, the chat is saying, can I turn the volume up? Can anyone else confirm? Can we hear the KI team loud and clear?
Is it just us, or is it, how does Gladrocker everybody sound compared to everybody else?
Am I louder than everyone? Let me know, chat. Don't be afraid to speak up. You can hear fine. Yeah. I think because I can see the audio levels on my Streamlabs, of course, and it seems like it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah. One other thing I wanted to mention about the events, you had plugged the event calendar, so thank you for that. You can go to the Wizard website and you can see not just Beastmoon Monster Mayhem, Beastmoon Hunt, and all the others. And we try to spread those out so that there's a focus for a particular event at a particular time. That has several benefits. That gives us the chance to promote it and to share it and to get the word out about it clearly, that this is the event that's happening right now. It allows us to join it a little bit easier, because if there were like 5 events happening at one time, that makes it a little more confusing on, well, which are we able to participate, and what's the community doing? It splits up the community and all that if you have, say, more than one running anyway. And over this last couple of years, we've really had a focus to try to develop new features of the game that are engaging for everybody on an event kind of level. That's why we have the Beastmoon events now, and Pet Promenade and all these other ones too. But it's nice to just have that focus, one at a time. And our calendar is fairly full now, actually. There's always something happening, so every time you're like, hey, I want to do something different in the game. I've been leveling my pet or leveling, questing through the game. I want to check out one of those events. There'll be, for the most part, not completely through the week, usually Tuesdays, and then however long the event runs from that point forward. Never mind the Scroll of Fortunes, by the way. Those are seasonal anyway, so there's another event for you. So I guess that overlaps. I said like one at a time, but then I kind of lied there because Scroll of Fortune technically in a way overlaps those anyway. But the point is, we keep a focus, so you always have at least something going on.
Oh yeah, definitely. Good points there.
You gotta be careful with me here, because I get so excited about all these other things we're doing that I'll go off on a complete tangent. And like, this is your Beastmoon.
We'll just do a universal roundtable. We'll go until midnight.
And I'll be
everyone.
talking about housing or something, so you gotta stop me.
That's awesome. All right, cool. So my next question for the KI team regarding Beastmoon, this was actually brought up by Patrick Icehammer here. So right now, in terms of communication, you can, let me get this right, you can talk to people when you're inside a Beastmoon game to people outside in the main game. It's kind of a one-way channel, but you can't talk to people, and by talk I mean, text chat. You can't message people who are inside a Beastmoon match. Was this communication, this one-way avenue of you can only talk going out of Beastmoon and not have communication inside of Beastmoon. Was that intentional, and can we see any changes to that in the future?
Yeah, it was intentional. And apologies for my mic. My mic's garbage, and I bought a new one, didn't help. So
It's
I'm
okay.
gonna have to figure out a different way of solving that
I'll
problem.
raise up the volume. It's okay.
But yeah, the thing, Beastmoon was challenging because we were trying to take a very we were trying to up the tempo of combat and the add more of a time element to the experience in general. And so we wanted to try to restrict communication as much as possible to help the teams remain focused on the goal, as opposed to being distracted by communication with people not in the match. So that was really the sort of the idea. And so, but we can talk about changes if people need it or people want it. But for me, it was when you're in the match, you're in the match. And so, and that's kind of where we went with that.
No, makes sense. Definitely makes sense. Focus on your goal inside the Beastmoon game. Don't want to get distracted by, outside commentary, stuff like that. The only reason I could see that, wanting to communicate back and forth is for creating teams, right? If you're going in solo and you don't realize your friend logs on, you can communicate to them, oh, there's, how many people are on your team, stuff like that. But, no, good points, though. I agree with everything you said there. Anyone else want to talk on that? Or should I jump into the next question?
Yeah, I mean, I wanted to jump in on that just a little bit. I think the main issue is, again, when coordinating with teams. Maybe one design approach is to have kind of a separate team chat, because I agree with you philosophically. We're trying to kind of focus on just team communication during the match. But the challenge is sometimes you log in and you see a bunch of people on the friends list and they're already playing, and you have to kind of resort to other ways to try to reach out to them in order to kind of find out, hey, are you full, or when are you going to be done? Are you going to play much longer? So potentially having a way to kind of provide some of that communication in game would be really helpful.
That's true. That's a good point. Yeah, I do have to resort to Discord sometimes to be able to have servers that are out there to form teams. So that's a good point, Pat.
Yeah, that's a good point. And some of the we are doing social, introducing new social systems to kind of help players coordinate play sessions, et cetera, et cetera. And the adventure parties that are on test right now might help with at least the coordination of that, because you should be able to create an appointment or a message that says, you're going to play Beastmoon on Thursday at 7 or something. And then at least at that point, everyone in your adventure party knows that's what's going to happen. And so it becomes less sort of nebulous as to when your friends are going to be playing something, because you could use all join an adventure party, post a message about, hey, let's play Beastmoon on this time, on this day. And then everyone should know right at that point. It wouldn't be, So anyway, I understand the problem you're describing, and so we can think of different ways to solve it.
Yeah, absolutely. Cool. So my final immediate question, and then after that I'm going to talk about some ideas that I have, and then we'll jump into Q&A, is, and this is another topic that Pat brought to my attention. So Pat, you could talk about this too. It just regards, battle coins in Lunari. Is there a way we might be able to see that more easily? And Pat, you want to shed some light on that aspect, with battle coins? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, these were actually comments I got from Ethan's server. They had a bunch of actually really helpful comments. But basically, one challenge is you can't see how many battle coins you have before the match. So it could be helpful, because inevitably most of us sometimes jump in and be like, oh, forgot to harvest. And then one person mentioned that potentially being able to see your Lunari without having coming to the kiosk could be helpful. Mm-hmm. Although you can solve that by going to the kiosk, but potentially something to see the battle coins outside of a match could be useful.
Maybe like a portion of the stats page when you press C can show Lunari battle coins. I don't know. Can anyone on the KI team kind of talk about that a little bit? Can we see other?
Yeah, there has been. We have the same problems, right? We're struggling with the same sort of issues, and so there's a number of different bits of information related to Beastmoon that we'd like to make more easily accessible. Like what forms can I tier up? What, how much Lunari do I have? How many battle coins do I have? It's really just, trying to pick the best place to put that information in front of the player. So like, like the beast, battle coins, because like when I'm joining a match, so when I join the queue, it might be useful to see it in the second join queue window potentially, or maybe just in the event screen in general, because that's where I'm joining the queue. Whereas stuff like Lunari might be best right there on the Beastmoon, the tome there that you stand in front of. And so so just to say, yeah, we're trying to settle on the best solution for some of those things to make it easier for players to kind of, like you said, know what to do. Do I need to go home or back to harvest and use whatever the hasty harvest spells or whatever to get my battle coins up before I join the queue? Because once you're in, and it's too late. So anyway, yes, we're thinking about where best to put all these things.
Good to know. Yeah, definitely. So that just about wraps up the questions that I had for the KI team specifically. Before we jump into ideas for possible changes in the future, let's do another giveaway. I got some more crowns to give out. This is for 2,500 crowns. Everyone type in the chat if you want to be eligible. The password is crowns, so CROWNS. Type it in the chat. Crowns it is. Let's see that number go real high of participants. There it is. Keep it coming. And then, of course, I will select one random winner to get those crowns. It's for 2,500 crowns. Thank you so much again to the KI team for providing this to me. They're funding the giveaways today. So, thank yous in the chat to KI for their generosity. So, of course, I'll give it, 10 more seconds here. We got a lot of more exciting content to share with you all. Yeah, okay, cool.
Yeah, Jeff, we're going to get into balancing, right?
Oh, yeah. I have a few ideas in that area.
We have a few more hours, right?
Yeah. All right, cool. So there it is. I'm going to roll right now. Last call, type crowns. Perfect. Here it is. 3, 2, and 1. Gab, you just won. Gab101. 2,500 crowns. Let me send that to you before we move on. I wish there was an easier way for me to do this. It only takes 5 seconds, though. So let me just copy the code and whisper it to you. So just type something in the chat for me, buddy. Please and thank you. Gab101. And then can you make the chat good? You disabled followers only. Perfect. Gab, talk to me. Talk to me in the chat so I can just send you the code. It's okay. We'll remember to. This is all documented. So this will go up on YouTube eventually as well. All right. So for now, oh, there you are, Gab. I found you. All right. So whispering. All right. There it is, my friend. Enjoy. Get something nice in the crown shop. All right. Cool. So, there's going to be more giveaways. Everyone keeps asking in the chat. There's going to be more giveaways throughout the stream too. So stick with us. So we just asked the KI team some really unique questions, some interesting questions about Beastmoon in general, and they provide some really, insightful answers to us. So thank you for all those great answers. Gives us a better idea about the future. There's another aspect of Beastmoon I'd like to get into a bit now. I know a lot of you are waiting for this. I could talk about this for a while, but as you all know, I've been playing Beastmoon for a very long time, almost at 900 wins, so I've seen a bit about, the meta, right? Every game has the meta, right? So, with every new form that comes out, things kind of get shifted around. Keep in mind, every single little balance change causes a ripple effect, right? Take an arbitrary form, for example, buff the Fire Minotaur. I'm not saying do that, but I'm just picking one randomly. If you buff the Fire Minotaur, that'll make fewer ices come out. That'll shift the meta in that aspect, right? That'll make more storms come out. And so I'm just saying every little change causes a ripple effect. So you can't be too unrealistic here with balance update ideas. I know so many people are so creative too in that regard with ideas for changes of spells and stuff like that. But before we even get into specifics for that, could it be possible in the future, this is a question for the KI team, because in the past you've made some tweaks here and there to the card and some of the spells of different forms. Could it be possible there could be a change log perhaps in Test Realm? Just a little bit of documentation, kind of like what you do with main game when you change a spell card. Could you just show us kind of what's changing in that sense so we all know? Could there be just a little bit more transparency into spell changes throughout every test run going forward? I don't know if any of you could shed light in that.
Yeah, sure. I mean, yeah, that is certainly, yeah, for sure. I mean, we can. So we're hoping to do a few balance changes here in the next milestone, but then I can give detail because I keep that detailed change log for everything, and so I can give that to Spark to put on update notes or kind of yeah, whatever is the best way to get you guys the information. But yeah, I'm thinking we'll do some probably targeted balance changes in the next milestone though for a couple of the beasts.
Perfect. Yeah, we appreciate that. Definitely. That's a great answer. I'm sure chat's excited about that. Balance changes. Yep.
Hey, Jeff,
Mm-hmm.
could I jump in on that one?
Absolutely.
Hey, Artie, question for you. I could only imagine, trying to manage keeping a system like that in balance must be extremely complicated. Have you guys ever considered an approach of kind of bringing Test Realm out a bit more often so that you can test out ideas and get feedback from the players, and be more comfortable like throwing out some ideas and testing them out, and then keeping some, not keeping some, and that kind of stuff? I would think it would kind of help make it a lot easier to kind of continue to evolve the system.
Yeah, whether or not Test Realm is available, is it's above my pay grade, or it's to the side or whatever. Somebody else kind of determines that Test Realm availability, which I understand. But the point you're bringing up is interesting, and it's an interesting idea where let's just for sake of argument say that Beastmoon was available more often. We could do some sort of more an experimental sort of test environment, let's say, which we could throw forms in there and have people play around with it on live, and then we could assess how they do or take feedback at that point. I mean, a lot of what we do or what I monitor with meta health is just win rates based on form, and that kind of tells me what forms may need some help or what forms may need to be knocked down a little bit. But yeah, I like that idea somewhat. We'll have to figure out like the best way to do it. But yeah, that's an interesting idea.
Well, it's ideally, bringing out something where people could kind of just play around. You're not really committing to it initially. You're just playing around with some functionality or ideas and then kind of see what comes through. But again, I can't imagine how challenging it must be to try to balance the whole system as a whole.
Yeah, it takes a little bit of maintenance to make sure that I have an easy way to keep an eye on the whole, on all the cards and all the forms. One of the things is that I also don't mind taking an existing form and kind of rebuilding it from scratch. So, a lot of these concepts, a lot of these sort of the conditional concepts and some of the other things are sort of experimental in general. Like Ratbeard mentioned earlier, some of the concepts that seem most effective from Beastmoon find their way into the regular game. And so in a lot of ways, the Beastmoon event itself is a test bed for new spell effects and new sort of spell interactions and with hanging effects and other things. And so I'll throw something out there and I'll see, like, for instance, like the Death Drac, I love the concept of it throwing hots out into the enemy, which seems beneficial on the surface, but it's really not. And so that whole play seems really I'm fascinated by it, and I'll be interested to see what the community does with it. And then at that point, we can, because some of these concepts take time to mature. Like we can't just throw out a creature concept that initially may seem to tilt the meta too much, because we have to give the community time to find out an appropriate response to it. So in some ways, I'll put a form out there with some sort of core concept and have an idea of how it will interact with the rest of the meta. But ultimately, we'll have to let it sort of ride for a bit and see what actually happens. Because in a test environment, the use or not won't be representative necessarily of what what the use would be in a live environment, because some of the people who may find an advantage, they're not going to reveal it right in a test environment. Some will, some won't. So but anyway, so that, and I mentioned that I don't have I have no qualms about taking a form and starting over if the core concept isn't working. And so there's some forms I have in my mind that could possibly use an overhaul. That's not going to be in the next milestone. The next milestone is going to be more targeted balance changes.
Cool. Anyone else want to contribute to an answer there? Or can I move on to my next little topic here? All right.
I guess
Go for
I
it.
can. Oh yeah, I can just jump in and say it sounds like it's really easy. Oh yeah, we'll just toss a bunch of beast forms up on the test realm. There's a lot of coordination that and build management to just get a build up on the test server. So it's a little more challenging than just saying, okay, we're just going to take these and put them in here. But it's something we've done before. I think what was it, early 2020, we had a special test realm with just a couple extra beast forms. So it's something we've done in the past. So we could potentially do it again.
Absolutely. And on that point too, the first point you brought up there, I'm actually a software developer myself, so I am a coder. I know how long it takes, so I do respect the process in making changes. It's not easy. It's not quick.
Branch management is terrible.
Oh yeah.
Well, and even on that point, right? Even just on the practicality of it all, like when we're in the next milestone, there's going to be 5 new forms and 50 new spells. So that's a fair amount of work on its own. And then, but if we started to add the idea of introducing sort of, I don't know, experimental form concepts or whatever, it sort of adds to that workload. So then we have to sort of balance the value of doing it in a test run versus allowing the form to go out, exist in the meta as designed, see if it works, and then revisiting it afterwards. It's just a balance that we have to do.
Oh yeah. Okay, cool. By the way, chat. Okay, go for it. Sorry.
Yeah, and honestly, for me, like some of the testing doesn't even have to be a new form. It could be something to the effect of, hey, like for example, right now in the meta, some of the life forms feel a little underpowered. You could sit there and say, well, we're going to test some balancing to try to make them a little bit more effective. Really, it could just be some adjustments to cards. And then it would be interesting if you had the community involved and then got some feedback and say, did the changes accomplish it? Or, other things. So again, I know it's all very difficult and there are limitations on what can be done. Just some thoughts about focusing on some of those test environments to collaborate with the community on some of those things too.
Well, it's good you mentioned test
absolutely.
because we have, I was just going to say test realm. We have test realm going on. We're in test realm right now. Gladrocker and I are in test realm.
Yes, we are.
And we've got quite a few people actually in the arena here just kind of hanging out with us. And the whole point of test realm is to get your feedback, to get the dedicated community members who are able to jump on to test realm to test out the things that are coming up in the next few updates. And so we'll of course have as much as we can for things that we can talk about that's near coming up on the next test realm to give you an opportunity to give us your feedback before it goes to live servers. And even if it goes to live servers, there's further things that are like that you bring up, especially with events like Beastmoon, where there's going to be more players able to just enjoy the game and the updates we put out onto the live servers than what we're in test realm. May discover additional things that we got to tweak that a little bit, and a lot of that comes from directly you guys, the community. So we need that feedback, and that's what test realm's about.
Exactly. Could not have said it better myself. Don't be shy, everyone. Really, if you have ideas, try out Test Realm and let the devs know. So before, I want to make some points. In just a second, let's do one more quick giveaway real quick because I do have some more codes to give. So mods, please set the chat. Perfect. Gonna grab a code. The password for this giveaway, well actually give me 1 second, gotta refresh the last one. And by the way, it was asked, can a person win a giveaway again? The answer is yes, because there's usually like 90 of you in there. The odds of just putting one more person in doesn't really affect anyone else in the big picture. So here it is. Password for this next one is not the same as before. It'll be, let me think. All right. It's my favorite creature. It's on my badge, and without the words death and the V. It's Cyclops. There it is. So put that, yeah, rock, you know. So Cyclops, there it is. My favorite Beastmoon creature right now. There it is. Everyone's filling in now, I believe. Yeah, there it is. Wow. There's always like an initial delay, and then I see like the number go from like 0 to 30 eligible users. It just keeps going up. So, you know, hop in the giveaway right now. Giving away 2,500 crowns again. Let me grab the code first this time to make it even easier. Again, if you win this, just type again in the chat so I can easily whisper you on Twitch. All right, so last call. Cyclops it is. Cool, cool, cool. All right. 3, 2, and 1. Ryan Sword PvP. There you go, buddy. Let me whisper you on Twitch here. So, Ryan, if you could just do me a favor, say something in the chat. That way I can get the code to you as soon as possible. We can carry on. By the way, KI team, we're a bit past the hour. Can we go another 20, maybe 30 minutes? Is that okay? Because I do have some other points I'd like to make.
If anybody with us has to depart, please do so. Exits are to your right.
Yeah. All right. Sounds good. So
Yeah, I think we can go for a little bit more. Artie, oh, never mind. He's back. So, Artie, you cool with a few more minutes?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, that's
Thank
cool.
you.
I could talk about
Appreciate
this
that.
stuff all day.
Oh yeah, me as well. So on the topic of updating, I've been around a lot on Beastmoon. I keep making this point. I've seen the meta change time and time again. Every time new forms come out. Lately, there's 2 main forms. People know I was going to bring this up. There's 2 forms I see every single Beastmoon match. Both my team and the opposing team. I'm making the close-up here for emphasis. Every single Beastmoon, a team has, I'll say it, a Stormwolf and a Mythdrake, right? I know everyone in chat can agree right now. Those tend to be a little, you know, over the balance curve at the moment, and for certain reasons. And I do have some ideas of my own. So real quick, of course, these are just my own ideas here because I felt, why not? I've been playing for a while. I'll share a few ideas. Right now, the Mythdrake, the problem with the Mythdrake, of course, is that crazy pip gain it gets. Of course, the Mythdrake's minion, let me pull it up here too. I'm at the kiosk, might as well show it. Let's see, so right now, actually before I say that too, there's something unique. If anyone didn't know before, every single beast form, this is, you know, this was not told to me, this is an observation I made playing the game. There's a base HP, a base health points a form gets based on the size of it. So every big form starts with 500 health. And then an extra bit of health based on the school after that, right? So every ice form gets an extra 100. That seems to be the standard protocol. There's a few outliers, of course, we'll mention in just a second. But the Ice Colossus, for example, this formula fits everything. 500 health for an ice form. Every ice form, sorry, for a big form, 500 health. Every ice school gets an extra 100, which of course makes 600. Look at the Life Colossus, a base of 500. All life forms get an extra 50. I'll just show you one more example. The small forms start with 300 as the base. All myth forms get an extra 25, which makes 325. There's 3 outliers right now. Chat, let me know. Put it in the chat if you know which 3 forms, I believe it's only 3, that are outside of that protocol for now. But I'll just show it. Mythdrake, one of the reasons is also overpowered. Like we just said, the myth forms get an extra 25 health, but the Mythdrake is actually at 475, right? Same with Myth Pig that just came out is 475. And Storm Elf is 325. Actually, a question for the KI team. Was there a reason to go and are we going to start kind of like disregarding the protocol going forward? Because I don't think it's a bad idea. I don't think it's a bad idea to kind of scrap that protocol of health and kind of change around health and kind of go back to and look at other forms and give some health to, like, you know, Storm Rat and some other lower health forms, you know, adjust the healths in that sense. So was there a reason the 3 forms I just showed don't necessarily follow that structure? I don't know if anyone on KI team could speak to that.
Yeah, they should all fit the structure because it becomes based on model and school. And so if there's any sort of irregularity there, then that's just a mistake.
So we might see it. Go for it.
Everything's balanced from that perspective, or it starts from that perspective. So, like you mentioned, like ice is traditionally a school about mitigation and survival and things like that. And so, the ice form should be more sturdy than, let's say, the storm version of the same monster or creature. But yeah, this should be like, which one did you say was inconsistent?
So Mythrix, so to follow the protocol, the Mythrix should have 425, but right now in Live Realm it has 475. That's an extra 50, which gives it an edge. The Mythpig has an extra 50 as well, which puts it at 475 instead of 425.
Oh no. So yeah, right. Sorry. That currently is how the myth should work. Like a medium-sized myth creature should have 475. Now that's, so that transitions the conversation to a different place, which is 475 too much for a medium-sized myth form? And that may be true, but the myth pig and the myth draconian should have 475.
But then the myth minnow has 425. So just in the future,
so that's a problem.
It's okay. We can always talk about this later.
So he should have 475.
Okay,
found an issue. We're all done here, folks. Thank you.
No. We're just casually discussing things. So thank you.
How dare you embarrass me?
No. By all means, that's not the point of this, please. So we could see in the future adjustments to health from what we see already, right? Okay, cool. That's good to know. And on that note, the Mythrake and the Stormwolf, again, I mentioned it before. They're overpowered. And the main reason, let's start with the Stormwolf, actually, okay? The Stormwolf, the reason why everyone uses this, it's not a secret anymore, right? Is this card right here, the Thunder Gaze, the Storm Owl, 1 pip. It's a guaranteed stun and 50 damage. The chain stun is brutal. I've seen, and it can get up, so I believe mine has tier 3 right now, my Stormwolf, which gets 2 Storm Owls in your deck already by default, and you can get an extra 2 on top of that at the vendor, with battle cards, right? So that's 4 total. And tier 5 can get up to, I think, 3 extra, so 5 total. I've seen tier 5 Stormwolves spam 5 owls in a row, and it totally turns the game around. So I was thinking, because Storm Rat, on the other hand, is totally under the curve at the moment. It's probably the least viable that stands at the moment in Beastmoon because of the health mostly. Why not? I think a good idea could be to switch the stuns around totally. Give the Storm Rat a chainable stun that does damage at its low health here. That would be very fitting. Whereas the Stormwolf, because it is so bulky in itself on its own, it has so many more blades too. Give it a stun that doesn't do damage. A chat saying agreed. This is just food for thought, of course. That's one idea I have to possibly balance that out. And of course, that benefits both. It makes the Storm Rat more viable with the Stun Owl chains. And of course, the Stormwolf would be used a little bit less than it already is. And of course, Myth Drake, I was thinking, there's a couple things you can do with Myth Drake. I think it's hard. Myth Drake's a touchy subject only because it's not a certain spell that makes it broken. It's, and by broken, I mean just overpowered. It's just a casual term in the gaming community. It's just the concept of the pip gain, right? Because there's so many 200 hits, and it's once you get that minion out there, you're getting a pip every single turn, essentially, or every other turn on average. But that's definitely a threat when it's on the opposing team. So I was thinking, besides maybe adjusting the health to 425, like we've said, a few ideas. Nothing totally, because I was really confident in my Stormwolf answer for this. I mean, maybe draw back some damage a bit. Maybe make the Medusa, because the Medusa for 2 pips, 200 damage and a guaranteed stun, because they usually do have the minion out. You usually do pull a minion with Myth Drake pretty easily. That's very overpowered. I was thinking maybe make that 100 damage for 2 pips with the stun. Could be a good idea. And on top of that, maybe get some other 200s down. Like, where's the Bloodbat? The Bloodbat is 200. Maybe make this just 150. Pick another arbitrary 200. I kind of like the idea of Bloodbat because you start with, because it should have a 200, right? And these forms should have at least one 200. So the White Rat Magician's from tier 1. You always start with that one. So keep that how it is. Maybe make the Bloodbat like 150 plus an extra 75. Something like that. I don't know. Thoughts, chat? And of course, KI team as well. What do you think about possible changes to these 2 forms? Because they've been dominating the current meta.
Right. But those are the 2 we were looking at mainly, was Stormrat and Myth Drake for now. I want to look at the more recent usage and win rates for the other forms, see if there are problems with the other ones. The tricky thing is with the Myth Drake, is his role is a tricky combination, because the concept of a pip focused or of a pip role is that the only way you would use it on another form is if the other form could use it more for greater power than yourself. And right now, because of for the reasons you mentioned, the Myth Drake doesn't often have a reason to put pips on someone else versus himself, unless he's getting rid of a trap or something.
Right.
And so I think that's where the Myth Drake runs into problems, where it's a pip damage concept form, and that doesn't often work. But I'll figure it out.
Sounds good.
Trust.
No, I mean,
trust.
I trust. Absolutely, we all do. Awesome. So you heard it here. Myth Drake is, having a look taken at it because, yeah, like I said, every team has a Myth Drake. Cool.
Yeah, I end up running Myth Drake, but then for the reasons you mentioned, I don't like to run it because it's got three 200
too easy.
spells. It becomes like, I don't know. I normally let everybody else pick, and then I'll pick whatever is left. And I was kind of interested that people felt like life was so weak.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's a spell on the Life Drake that I really like that is used to great effect. It's
I have it pulled up here. It's
Harvest Spirit is great.
That's a great one. That is 150 damage for 3 pips, and once you kill the enemy, it doesn't have to be with this spell. You can, as long as you use this spell on a target, and then that target, whenever it dies eventually, your entire team gets 100 blades each. So that's a great value. Like you said, that's a great one.
Yeah, it's
very unique.
It's especially great in Mayhem, right?
Oh yeah,
it's
in Mayhem
great.
too.
You put it on one of the minions, take it down, everybody gets a blade. It's cool.
Well, the interesting thing on the live track right now is it's not used so much because usually it's helpful for the team for somebody to be playing the Myth track. Mm-hmm. So I think to me that's one of the reasons.
Yeah, that's a good point. We used to see. That's exactly right, Pat. We used to see Life Drake all the time before Myth Drake was introduced, but since Myth Drake came out, I have not seen too many Life Drakes myself, which is a shame because it's such a good form, such a good one.
Right? Yeah. No, and that's an interesting observation to make because any of these changes can really skew a meta around. Because whereas Myth Drake or Life Drake was the sort of the primary support initially. But then when Myth Drake came out, all of a sudden that became the favored form. So then what happened? Where does support go? It could go to the Life Fairy or to the Life Colossus. Mm-hmm. I generally like the Life Colossus, but
I like it too. It's unique. Yeah, so the Drakes are really dominating the game. These two forms are wonderful. Of course, the Death Drake looks really cool as well. Haven't gotten too much experience. I played it for 1 or 2 games yesterday. I liked it a lot. So moving on. Another point, real quick, just another point to make. The Ice Wolf, I feel compared to its counterpart. Mm-hmm.
Hey, Jeff, can you go back to the Death Drake?
Absolutely. Here it is, Tier 5.
It would look really cool, like if you kind of had some holes in the wings and kind of like some sockets for the eyes.
The skeletal, yes. We've seen a lot of people asking about the skeletal Drake model, true, from Dragonspire. I don't know.
I took a look at that model for that, and it was just going to take extra art rework to get it in, and we didn't have the time with other things happening. But nothing says we can't later swap out that NIF later when the time comes to get that fixed and ready to go.
All right, you heard it here first. We could see potential changes in models down the road.
I know you'll have a big fan out there when you do that.
Yes. All right, cool. So, I'm going to try to speed. I have a lot of points I want to make. I'm going to keep kind of speeding by here because we don't have too much more time. Ice Wolf, compared to its counterpart, if you take a look at Ice Colossus, they're both big, bulky, large size ice forms, each with 600 health. This doesn't have a bonus pip. Wolf does have 1 bonus pip, but the Ice Colossus definitely overshadows the Ice Wolf at the moment. It could do with its condition too. And keep in mind, a recent update, one of the past test runs more recently enabled stun shields to count for the wards for conditions. So as long as you plant one of these Aegis of Artemis is down on yourself, you have a stun, and you're not against a Storm, of course, or a Medusa user. If you keep a stun block on you as the Ice Colossus, you can keep dishing out 125 for 1 pip every single round for as many snakes as you have. That's a lot of value there for an ice for damage. On the other hand, this is probably the weakest in terms of damage output in the game. 0 pip hit having 25, 1 pip hit having 50. It's tough because let's say you're doing a 2v2 and you're shielding and you're with a Storm or you're with a hitter, right? And the hitter dies and you're alone as an Ice Wolf at the end there. If you didn't do a good job protecting your teammate, then you're kind of at a huge disadvantage here because the damage you dish out is very low. So perhaps maybe just a slight buff to Ice Wolf could be nice. Like even like a 25 extra on this spell or this spell. You know, just food for thought out there. It just seems like the damage on that form is a little bit under the curve. But of course, there's reasoning for that too, because it is nice and it has to, you know, protect and shield and all that stuff.
There is reasoning, and you are right. The
Yeah.
low pip spells are low pip spells are below the curve because those spells have their they have value beyond the damage. But I'm gonna look at it.
Oh, sorry. Oops.
So anyway, these those spells are below the curve because of their situational effects, and so. But I'm gonna look at it anyway. I'll because you make good points.
Sounds. It's tough. I played it, and I say that from experience. Everything I bring up, by the way, is from experience. I've been playing Beastmoon for a long time. Chat, if anyone's just tuning in, this is not something just out of the whim I made up on the fly. I've been in many situations playing Ice Wolf. Mine's tier 3 right now, where I'm kind of stuck at the end. Even in a 1v1, both the teammates on both sides die. Then you're just kind of stuck doing 25s and 50s. And even with 600 health, you can't do enough, and your opponent gets you. So, alright, I'm just going to keep moving here. So the meta is extremely myth-heavy. The meta is so myth-heavy. You'd think it's Storm-heavy too, but that's really just because of the Storm Wolf, and I guess Storm Elf. But I think myth is the primary focus right now on what to nerf a bit. And I think there's a reason for that too that I came up with. I was talking to Pat too a little bit about this. You know, chat, what's myth good for in main game too? What's the purpose? Well, there's many purposes, I should say, for different schools. But one of the main things, especially early on main game, is its minions, which you see in Beastmoon, of course. I feel like the myth damage, the damage that myth forms have, is a bit, you know, gives it too much of an edge. I'd like to see myth focus more on minions and their conditions. Let me just pull up a random myth here. I mean, you could look at Myth Drake, right? So, you know, it has, well, we already talked about that. Let's go to, like, Myth Ninja Pig. Still has a lot of damage it outputs here, right? Like, 200 for 2 pips, all that stuff. I'd like to see a bit more of a shift towards working with minions, because a lot of Myth users I played against don't even put their minions out. The Myth Drake, the Myth Pig, even the Myth Minnow, they just spam the 200s, like the Gobbler on the Minnow, the Minotaur here, and they just treat it like a Storm. They treat it like a purely offensive form. So I'd like to see maybe a decrease in power overall in Myth, because there's usually like 3 forms, 2 to 3 on average, every game of Myth forms on my opponent's team. So I'm always looking for a life at the last second to counter that. And actually, I'm going to skip right to my next point. I just said it. The Life School can use a bit of a buff. Right now, you'd be thinking, since Myth is dominating the meta, you know, life boosts on Myth in Beastmoon, if anyone doesn't know. You'd expect to see a lot of life, but you really don't, which is kind of a red flag. And that's because life doesn't counter Myth too well. We've seen it. Actually, I will say, Life Minotaur, not my favorite personal form, but I like what you're doing with the opposing minions. See this, chat? The enemy minion. If enemy team has a minion, this happens. If enemy team has a minion, it's on some of these spells here, this happens, right? Same with the Sandstorm, or the Leaf Storm. That's good. That's good, because that's the primary focus of Myth, having a minion. I'd like to see life shift a bit more towards easily countering minions in Beastmoon, right? And an example of this would be, I have a tier 4 Life Colossus. It's my second best form of the game behind tier 5 Death Cyclops. So I do have the Spirit Spider, which I love, except it's the only, you know, opposing minion condition, right? So if the enemy has a minion, then you give your entire team 50 health, right? 225, 3 pips. I like to see life more easily, more effectively counter minions, because a minion's 0 pips, right? Every form has a minion that's 0 pips. Look at the Myth Rat here, 0 pips. I feel like life should, for 0 pips, be able to at least be able to scare Myth forms into minioning. A Myth should walk into a fight with a life and be like, I'm not gonna minion. I gotta fight this without a minion, right? Because a Fire walks into a fight with a Storm and says, I'm not gonna dot, right? And Ice goes, I'm not gonna shield against a Fire. So a Myth should walk into a fight, a Myth Rat should walk in against like a Life Fairy and be like, I don't want to get my minion out. I'm not going to use this. Of course, this is the form that probably least used the minion of all the myths, but you know what I mean. Like a Myth Minnow against a Life Drake should be scared to put out a minion and then have those conditions. I don't know, KI team, do you agree? Do you disagree on that note? Because like I said, Life Minnow does a great job right now countering minions. I like to just see a little bit more of that for school identity.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that. I mean, the issue is that with conditions, like if they become too situational, they become useless, and then it has to be factored into the cost of the card, or the cost and scarcity of the card. And so a lot of forms will leverage hanging effects that a lot of schools will use as their primary mechanism for output. But like, if you take myth and put more reliance on the minion, and then you put more reliance on life to counter the minion, then they can't do anything. Like one of the reason why the conditions came about in part is every spell has sort of a base value, a base effect, so that it has value even if the condition isn't leveraged. And then leveraging the condition allows the spell to be valued beyond its pip cost. And so the minion's a tricky one because myth is. That's why I started having fire generate minions, and was trying to see how could we get minions to happen more frequently, because otherwise, if it happens too infrequently, then all of a sudden these conditions never trigger, and so then all of a sudden the potentiality of the form is realized less frequently, right? So it's a tricky problem with minions specifically. But yeah, it's something that we've been experimenting with to see how can we make minions more vital for the myth, and then give. That's why the 0 pip afterlife is a good example of something that has brought an application in addition to the being anti-minion. But anyway, yeah. So I agree with that. I just wanted to make a point about the storm, because life generally wrecks storms by nullifying the stuns and leveraging the blades against them. Like I like to run with the Ice Elf. I generally like support classes anyway. And Ice Elf just wrecks because, the Storm Wolf can't put blades up. And then let's see, and then or with the Ice Colossus is another example of just someone who just totally removes the stun completely. And because that is an important part of their arsenal, if you can't get your blades up and you can't stun, then all of a sudden you're really just sort of a weak, middling DPS form, and you should get wrecked. But we can look at that also. That was anti-stun was something that I was looking into more.
Right. Okay.
So
cool.
anyway, so on the one hand, life should be the strong counter to myth. The minion makes it difficult to do that without making it such that myth is overly reliant on its minions, and life is overly reliant.
Oh, you're cutting out a bit on audio there.
Maybe that's a sign.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I see.
All right, well, great points. Thank you so much. Let's go real quick. I'm doing a 10-second giveaway right now. The password is giveaway, and we're going to jump into Q&A, okay? So type giveaway in the chat right now if you want to win 2,500 crowns. I'll give you 10 seconds because you got to hurry this up. Giveaway, there it is. Everyone type giveaway just like that. You got it. You got it. Let's see. There it is. Everyone's becoming eligible. Perfect. This is for 2,500 crowns. And then, of course, we're jumping into Q&A right now after this. So everyone type away in the chat after this, of course. All right, cool. I'm going to roll it right now. 3, 2, and Josh Stormblade 1. If the mod can set it back to anyone, can type in the chat. Josh. And we do have more giveaways. I'll do another one at the very end, too, for more crowns. So, Q&A time. So, chat, any questions you have? We have the KI team here if you're just tuning in. Keep it Beastmoon related. Respect the chat rules, of course, but open discussion.
I think we have maybe, some of us have to get going pretty soon here, so maybe, 1 or 2 questions if we could limit it to that. If anybody, by the way, I'm eating up the 1 minute here, but real quick, we're going to announce KI Live for this month. This is always the third Thursday, 4 o'clock. You can ask your questions then, too, if you don't get them answered here.
Mm-hmm. And Josh, can you type in the chat, too, so I can whisper the code to you? There it is. I found it. All right, so some questions are forming here. I know. Feel free, KI team, to jump in. You can see the chat, right?
Oh yeah, I see him.
Yep.
No, I was gonna keep ice as the primary counter to stuns. Right now, ice and death both counter Storm's blades. So, you look at the Rochambeau that's normally displayed in the match, and it shows the primary counter, but then also there is a inner ring, outer ring, secondary counter that isn't normally as strong. So death does counter Storm somewhat by stealing its blades and things. Let's see what else you got.
I'm looking through as well. Some of the things we already talked about.
I mean, yeah. See, I think that's I see a comment of can life forms have a spell that specifically kills minions? I mean, they can. The problem is it's too situational, and it would just be deck filler. Like, you wouldn't be able. That's why it needed to be. Why it needs to be a conditional. Like conditionally, something needs to happen that makes it where you want to attack the minion. But even as life, even with when I'm the life colossus or whatever, normally it's better for me right now to contribute the damage to the myth target specifically. Like, we always jump on the myth Drake first thing, because we know what happens, especially with this minion out, because it starts to get a stun. And so, I need to think about it that way also. Like, so in some cases, the conditionals now are more about, like, does the enemy team have a minion? So I can continue to contribute to the primary target's defeat while leveraging their minion to benefit my team. And it may just be that I need to revalue minion-based conditionals because they are so edge case, and maybe make them better. They just are better in general.
Right. Cool. Want to do one more question here?
Sure.
Looking through. There's a lot
Yeah,
of you have good
one.
questions.
I mean, not that anyone's asking, but I was thinking about, like, how could I use flea combat in some as maybe an effect of a normal card, not just a battle card. Like, how could I use that?
I have an important question for Artie.
Okay.
How soon can we have one of these roundtables again?
Let's make it a monthly thing.
That's up to Sparck, man. I can talk about it all the time. I can talk about
As can I.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
All these things.
We're rotating topics and themes to cover other things in the game, but we'll definitely at some point come back around to Beastmoon. We'll see. Yeah.
And I would love to, of course, host another one. You know that. Yeah, I don't have to say that.
One of the things I've liked about Beastmoon is the community, and there's a lot of players with a lot of good ideas, and the balancing is always an interesting, challenging topic. So really appreciate having the opportunity to kick some things around with you.
Yeah, and these roundtables, by the way, are about somebody hosting like you guys. So it's up to the community leaders, fan sites, live streamers like you, etc. If we hear from somebody of an interest on the topic, we'll keep you in mind, and we'll fit you in when we'll join your hosted live stream when we have an opportunity, because it's about you and your stream and your followers and the community on your interest.
Well, and I just want I want to make this point regarding transparency. So yeah, I thought that this team-based, goal-based PvP or PvE with Mayhem, I thought that a portion of the community might find it interesting, so now we put it out there, and it's a partnership with the community who's interested in Beastmoon as to what direction we go with it. I can create forums and I can balance things, but it's kind of like, if you guys go to the forums or host roundtables or kind of whatever, and kind of let us know, where would you guys like to see it go? I mean, I have my own ideas, but it becomes, in my opinion at least, it becomes more of a partnership with those who are enthusiastic about it. And the more people who are enthusiastic about it and kind of supporting it and whatever, it'll help us take it to to better places and make it better.
Absolutely. All right, so we're just hitting the hour and a half mark So I think we have to wrap up Q&A here. Thank you for all the questions, of course, everyone. So many wonderful answers provided by the KI team today. Thank you again so much, everyone on the KI team. We could not have done this without you today. So it really is an honor and such a privilege for a small streamer like myself. I just started on Twitch April 20th. It's been like shortly over 2.5 months. The fact to get, recognized and getting so much love and support from KI themselves, I really do appreciate it. So thank you all, each and every one of you, coming on today and making this event happen means the world to me and all of us in the chat too. Yeah. So thank you. And that's about it for mine. We'll do one more giveaway. Once people start to head out. Yeah.
Yeah, while you do the giveaway, thank you. I just wanted to, on behalf of all of us and whoever responds, thank you for hosting us. We really appreciate it.
My pleasure.
Yep,
Absolutely.
always like talking to the community about these things. So good fun. Look forward to the next time.
Mm-hmm.
Thank y'all for continuing to play Beastmoon so we can make more cool stuff with it.
Absolutely. All right,
Thank
the
you.
last giveaway password's 2.5K. Put 2.5K in the chat because it's for 2.5K crowns starting right now. Anyone else want to say a last minute comment on the team?
Nope, just get in there. Look for Kylie Boom Pants. That's me.
Nice.
Yeah, shout out for Travis Stormstalker.
The gauntlet has been thrown.
Yeah.
I think that guy took me out last game.
Yeah, so let's roll it right now. Here it is for the final giveaway. 2.5 thousand crowns. Winner is K Soul Rider. Congratulations. Let me message you the code. Alright, so I guess we're gonna disband now. So thank you again. Feel free to drop off, KI team. I'm gonna keep it going for another maybe 10 minutes, just kind of talk on my own. Of course, anything starting right now is not, is my own separate commentary. Okay, so at this point, the KI team is leaving. Again, thank you so much. All right, cool. Pat, you want to stick around
Thank
with me a
y'all.
bit?
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah, I can stay on for a little bit.
All right, see y'all later.
Thank you so much for
Thanks
coming.
very much, guys. Really appreciated it.
Absolutely.
Thank you guys. Take care.
Take care.
You too.
All right, cool. Yeah, so that was wonderful. I actually do have one more giveaway. One more giveaway for all of you. Surprise. This one's for 1,000 crowns. Also, so K Soul Rider, let me give you the code real quick. Let me whisper it to you, my friend. Is anyone brand new to my content? Let me know if you're brand new to my content, by the way. Sorry, yeah, a lot of you said stuff to me the entire stream, and when I'm talking to people and I have guests, I can't read all your comments at the same time. I'm sorry, I can't multitask that hard. But for all I glanced at people saying hi, asking me questions. You did a good job, thank you. It's my first time doing something like this, so I appreciate all the positivity and the kind words. I mean, I'm doing this for all of you. I couldn't be doing this for everyone who's been showing me love and support and following me. Thank you so much. We got so many new members of the Glad Gang today. Pat's probably rolling his eyes. Pat, I'll talk to you in just a second. Let's see. But really, it means the world to me. I just started 2.5 months ago, so thank you all. And I stream Beastmoon all the time. Whenever Beastmoon's out, you catch me streaming Mayhem and Hunt. I play with viewers. We're all about the positivity here. The happy, friendly, positive vibes. So
Jeff, we
that's all
should
I got.
check out the new forms.
Yeah, you want to review them? Let's do that. Let's do that. Absolutely. Just one more second. So K Soul Rider, before I forget, there's your code. There's your code, and then Pat. That's a great idea, actually. I like that a lot.
We should play. Aren't we in test run?
I gotta go eat
Try
dinner
out the new
soon.
forms?
I would. I gotta go pretty soon though. Yeah, I'm getting real hungry here. I want to make 2 points I didn't get to during the roundtable. Real quick, keep them quick because we did hit that time constraint. Right now, there's a bit of an exploit when you disconnect, when a player on an opposing team disconnects or quits on purpose. We've seen people do it maliciously before. It opens up a spot for another opposing teammate to take as if they used a flee card. That's not good. It should count as a flee when someone disconnects, or intentionally, of course, or unintentionally logs out or something. It should block that spot off. You shouldn't get a new teammate into the fight after that. Anyone know what I'm talking about in chat, by the way? And I'll read chat in just a second too. The other point I want to make is the pip spawn rates. I'd like to see Celestia get more frequent pips, and Mirage, well, we can keep Mirage. Mirage has a lot of pips, though, but we can keep that. We can keep that. All right, cool. No, not at all. The people who disagree are the ones maliciously quitting, probably, to give their team an edge. All right, cool. So, Pat, let's go ahead. Let's look at the forums here real quick. Oh, I feel bad because there's so much chat. Did a great job. Oh, thank you, thank you. Proud of you, Jeff. Thank you, Lisa. Pat, oh, you said something nice in there too, Pat. Really enjoying it. Oh, Playful Pearl. Awesome, awesome. Started watching yesterday. Awesome. All right, cool. Destiny here from yesterday's match. Oh, no way. Awesome stream today. Oh, happy you're here. That's so cool. Yes and yes. All right, awesome, awesome. So, Pat, let's do it. Which one do you want to look at first?
Whichever you want.
Let's do Fire Cyclops. There's a reason, just because I think this is my least favorite. And right off the bat, before we review spell by spell, I don't like how it only has one instant damage hit, one non-damage over time, which is this one. For 2 pips, it does 150, so it doesn't have like a 200. Of course, it's fire, and there's so many reasons for why they put the spells in, but usually fires have 1 or 2 hits, you know, straight up that do direct damage. So this is 150 for 2 pips. Let's go one by one though. Pat, what do you think of this one? The Mantle. Mantle and pip to yourself if the enemy has a shield.
Yeah, it seems like it's got some good 0 pip options, but I would worry. It just doesn't seem like it has a lot of good damage options.
Exactly. Yep.
Although, what was the what's the one the AOE on the right?
The final one, or yeah?
Oh no, all the way. Yeah, that one,
300.
the one you were just at. I forget what it's called. Here, let me try to pull it up.
Oh, the Kraken one, Flame On. 300 to yourself over 3 rounds for, what was that, for 300, is that direct damage on enemies? So it's a 300 AoE, but you also take 300 over 3 rounds on yourself.
Oh, okay, wait, I kind of missed that first part, so it's not
a little worse than it looks up front, yeah.
Just having to get more coffee when I look over those things.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just worry about it being, you know, and also like right now they've got Mayhem. Doesn't seem like many of these are really damage dealers.
Mm-hmm.
So I think somebody said it in the chat, but you know, these would have been helpful to test out in Hunt.
Definitely. Yeah, so the Fire Cyclops, yeah, a little on the weaker side with damage, but yeah, it's a staller. 100 bits, thank you. Oh, we could put the sounds back on for the follows. Wait, real quick. There it is. Thank you so much for the follow. Wait a minute. There it is. A Studi, thank you. Now all follows make sound effects. We had to take that off earlier. Am I forgetting something? Oh, I disabled the blurps. That's the sound effects redeeming for channel points. I'll get them back up next stream. Real quick, Taunt to Pacify. The way they work is the same SB as the actual main game, right, Pat? Taunt? That works the same way as it would in the current game. So it forces an opponent to hit you. I would assume. Could chat confirm that? I haven't gotten a chance yet because it does. Yeah.
Well, didn't they recently change that?
Yeah, but I think it doesn't.
Kind of how it works. It forces.
Mm-hmm, exactly. So it forces them. I mean, in the past, it didn't. Alex says taunt means that you can only target the Fire Cyclops. Pacify someone, they can't be targeted. Exactly. So if Ice Fairy uses this, AoE Mantle. All right, wait, real quick. AoE Mantle. Laura wants us to check that out. 3 pips for 50. Oh, I don't like that actually. 50 man. It's not. It's okay. I mean, it's unique to the form. That's why they have that, you know. The fires cast the smoke spells here. 50 mantle AoE and a pip to yourself for every shielded enemy. If you're against an Ice Colossus who uses a 4 shield and spiral, whatever the AoE shield, you get 4 pips using that. You get a pip and do mantles on AoE. That's interesting. It's situational though. Right. Oh, the person I'm with right now is Patrick Icehammer, just another prominent member of the Wiz community, not a developer. Right, Pat? Not yet. No, I'm saying. Ice Fairy. Real quick, I do have to go eat dinner soon. I'm pretty hungry, like I said, so we'll wrap this up. But Ice Fairy, again, weaker on the damage, but it's an ice form. I like the shielding. This is a pretty cool shield. It's the 2nd strongest shield in Beastmoon. You know, after the X-Pip 125 Ice Colossus Tier 5 one, Eternal Aegis, I think it's called. This one right here, X-Pip, 125 per pip. This is the strongest shield, of course, because you have 7 pips. Do the math of that, 700. Oh, geez, plus 175. That's 875. Quick maths. 875, I believe, for 7 pips. That's a big shield. But without the X pip, of course, this is the next one up and running here. 375 shield for 4 pips. That's pretty good. And a pip too. That's not bad at all. I like it. I like it. AoE, pretty good hit there. What do you think, Pat, about the Ice Fairy?
Yeah, I mean, it looks, of the new ones, it seems the more interesting. Unfortunately, we didn't get to talk about it much on the stream. Hopefully next time we meet up with them, we can. But just the challenge of using the lower health forms.
Yeah, that's another point. Exactly. I wish we had more time. I definitely would have asked a bit about that. Yeah, that was one of the points I have in my notes. I didn't get to a few bullet points on my notes. That's okay, though, but something I was going to bring up, which Pat and I were talking about. 400 and below health forms, they could die round 1.
You're a good streamer. You're always keeping something in the back pocket to keep them coming back. You know how it is.
Thanks, Pat. Yeah. Patrick Icehammer, he's really kind. He is kind. You're a very kind guy, Pat. All right.
I tried to be positive like Jeff.
Yeah. By the way, my first name's Jeff. If anyone wants to call me Jeff, feel free. How do I do the Beastmoon? Good question. It's in the events tab. You'll see it right here. You click the owl, Gamma the owl, you go to Beastmoon, and then you hit join match. There it is. We love Patrick. Patrick got some fans. The people's champion. Alright, and then last but not least, we got the Death Drake. Oops. Hold on. The kiosk bugs out a little bit here and there. Death Drake. It's cool. I like it. This is strong as heck. Look at this one. It's 75 weakness with Steel a Blade. That's crazy for 0 pips. If you're against a Storm that uses like a 100 blade or something, that's 275 value right there for 0 pips. It's situational, but I mean, I even thought that the one without the Steel, the Death Cyclops, was overpowered. But I like it though. Nah, because, I mean, Death Cyclops has its faults, so it's good that it has this weakness. But I thought this was kind of above the curve. 75 weak, I take it back now. Shields are 100 at least, but I don't know. But this just seems overpowered. But it's good. I can't wait to use it.
Oh, you could be on that one, but I don't know. It seemed kind of low. The things I didn't like is the what is it? The Spirit Thief.
This one?
Oh yeah. Two pips for the Ghoul for 100. That seemed kind of low. And then the one that looks like the Seraph on the Death Pig. That's 3 versus 2 pips.
Right.
So,
but this one, you're getting 3 pips if you have a blade. Although you can't cast a blade on yourself. 2 pips for 3 rounds. So an aura for 2 pip gain, 3 rounds. So, oh my god, that's a good condition. But yeah, I see what you're saying. With 3 pips, 200s on the weaker side. Definitely.
You make a good point. You know, potentially you've got, and again, that's the cool thing with Beastmoon. You've got all those kind of combo conditions. So you know, that's the one thing. You look at it and you're like, but then if you kind of look at it a little bit further and kind of work with a teammate to get the combo conditions in, you can get a lot of value.
Oh, Brian, good point. But you have to steal the blade. Yeah. So, oh my god, that's such a good point, Brian. So you use this to weaken Steel Blade. And then you chain it into the Seraph here for 203 pips, and then you get 3 pips back. That's so good. Oh my god, this thing destroys storms. That's a storm killer right there. Big time. And then again, on your point with Spirit Thief, I see what you're saying. It looks low, but then again, you're getting health back, so it really is 200 if you're getting all that health back. If you're low on health when you're using it, that is 200 for 2 pips. Which is
but doesn't Death Rat have a 1 pip?
Yeah, from 150 value. Yeah, 150 value. See, 75 times 2. That's 150 value. But then again, it's a smaller form. But and what's Death Fairy's? I think Death Fairy is. Well, anyway, let me just check it out real quick. Where is it? Right here.
It's the 50 for 0 or the 225. Exactly. 225 for 3.
That's your thing, Pat. You love that. Pat plays this Death Fairy so well, chat. He does. That's 450 value. Because 225 times 2 for 3 pips, insane. That's so good. If you could actually pull that off. Problem is it has such low health that odds are you're probably going to die before you can use that. If you want the full health on that, right, chat? And then...
Yeah.
And then...
It's a
50...
It's a quick death against Eric's team.
Yeah. And then 50 health, so times 2, 100 health, 0 pips. Or, sorry, 100 health. 100 value, 0 pips. That's good. I like it. But yeah, I see what you're saying. And then needful things. Undead... Draconian in the chat. So Mason, you brought up you'd like to see this being tested. And, oh, thank you for the follow. See, now we're hearing the follows, and thank you all for the follows. I didn't thank each of you individually during that, but you know, really appreciate it. So Maddie101, thank you so much, my friend. We're doing a giveaway in just a moment too, but because I do have to go. But this inserts cards in the opposing player's team. You can't do that in Mayhem, right? So Mason brought up a good point. Too bad we can't test it. you know, with a hunt on test ROM, because you can't actually test this card right now, but it looks cool. It looks cool. All right, cool. Any last words, Pat? Any last words? That sounds so dramatic.
No, you did a great job hosting. Thank you so much. Was really happy to be a part of it. And it was really interesting to be able to listen to the opinions on the devs. Hopefully we can do it again sometime, month or two.
Absolutely. I'd love to host another one of these. As you can tell, I could talk about this for days, Pat. You too. You know. That's the last words Brian put in the chat. So last giveaway here. Let's do let's see. What should the password be, Pat? You could pick it. What's the password? Make it Beastmoon themed for the giveaway.
The password?
Yeah. It makes it so people are eligible. They type it in the chat.
Low health forms.
That's too long. Let's just do forms.
Okay.
Forms. All right, forms it is. You missed most of the stream. So Garrett, if you missed the stream, I'm going to be uploading to YouTube probably in a day from now. So actually, I'll ask the mods to put a socials link. Not yet, though, just because there's so many people typing forms right now. There it is. Type forms to win 2,500 crowns again. Again. Let me copy and paste this. It's less pressure doing it when, you know, off the... I can take my time now and make sure. Although we did make mistakes. The giveaway, sometimes it's easy to make mistakes there. But no, our giveaways have been totally fine. Good. So let's give it a bit more time, too, as we wrap up here. So thanks again, everyone, for stopping by. It's not low health forms, it's just forms. No, Brian. You're confusing people. Brian's doing that. Oh, thank you for the follow, Jordan. Yeah, this is for 2,500 crowns. If anyone wants to participate, just type the word forms, because it's Beastmoon themed. There it is, to win 2,500 crowns right now. Okay? Alright, don't listen to Brian in the chat. Alright, there it is. I'm rolling. 3, 2, 1. Cammy! Cammy, you won 2,500 crowns. Can you type in the chat, please, so I can send them over to you? Congratulations. Does it say who won? It does. It does. Okay, so it tells you. Alright, so Cammy, once you can, please do. There it is. I can whisper you now. It sounds weird. I can whisper, a direct message you on Twitch. There it is. Boom. The code. Enjoy. Get something nice. Alright, cool. So I think we'll wrap it up here, Pat. Again, thank you, Pat, for coming on. You know, helping me out with this. Appreciate it, buddy.
Thanks. Was happy to join. Thanks for having me.
Always a pleasure. Alright, so I'm going to head out real soon. We'll do our final goodbyes in a second. I'm going to drop off the call, Pat. Catch you later. Bye,
Sounds
Pat.
good. Thanks.
Bye. Alright, pass off the phone. So last minute here, take a look at the chat right now. A lot of you are brand new and say, how, you know, Gladrocker, how can we support you above and beyond a Twitch follow? And there's a way to do that that's totally free. I don't want you to spend money. Don't donate to me. Don't sub to me. You can if you want, and I appreciate that. But a free way to support me beyond that is to check out the chat right now. We have a YouTube channel where I dump every single stream, including this one. If you want to rewatch this whenever you want, it's going to be on my YouTube channel, so definitely hit me with a sub on that. I have a Twitter where I notify when I go live. I tweet every single stream, if my mods remind me, because I usually forget. I have a TikTok where I post funny, like, highlights from games. We haven't gotten any Wizard ones yet, but you can watch me get jump scared playing Five Nights at Freddy's Minecraft. I get jump scared playing Minecraft, so check that out too. I appreciate all the support, the follows on that as well. And of course, we have the Glad Gang Discord server. It's the first link in that chunk. We have over like 220 people now in that, right? It's such an awesome, positive community. Make friends, talk about games. Would love to have everyone in that Discord server. And use that as much as you want. We have a Wizard channel as well. Anyway, thank you so much. Aw, thank you, Josh, for the kind words. Thank you, all of you. Playful, nice stream. Looking forward to further ones. Awesome, awesome, awesome. You're very welcome, Esme. Cammy. Awesome, awesome. Jeffy, we'll post this on YouTube. We'll post it on YouTube. Goodbye, Gorman. Exp. 1 in a million. Successful roundtable. That was successful. Did everyone like it? Did anyone like enjoy? Like, seriously, you don't have to. You can say whatever you want. You don't have to just say it because I'm forcing you to. Did we like the roundtable? Would you want to see me do another one? Was it good? Was it informative? Did I do a good job presenting information and stuff? Because it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy. It was informative. You didn't enjoy yourself, JK. I'll take that as a plus. Thank you. It was fun. Yeah. The life forms. Yeah, we would like to see a life buff. Alright, thank you for the stream. You're very welcome. Undead. Couch Potatoes. I wish I could name all of you, but the chat's going real quick right now. Victoria. Awesome. Looking forward to another. Cool, cool, cool. Kitty did great. Oh, thank you. Thank you all so much. I'm doing it for all of you too, right? Because I'm a prominent Beastmoon player out here. And I recognize some things that could be changed. And now they're out there. They listened. This is perfect. This is perfect. And they were so awesome and friendly. The KI staff did such a wonderful job providing valuable answers. And they're just so nice. We love them. They're so nice. I would love to have more streams, even non-Beastmoon related. Just, well, I mean, I specialize in playing Beastmoon, so that's why. Normally it will be Beastmoon related, but you know what I mean. Seem reluctant on the nerfs. A little bit, yeah, but they did seem like they agreed with a lot of the changes I brought. I just want to see a Stormwolf and a Mythdrake nerf, that's all, and a Stormrat buff, and I'm happy. And Icewolf a little bit, but I don't even feel that's not as needed. Just really just a Stormwolf and Mythdrake nerf is needed. And Myth in general nerfed and buff life. Buff life, get that on a t-shirt. People outside the game won't have any idea what you're talking about. Luke, what's up, Luke? Hanging out. Catch you later, buddy. You missed the beginning, Monica. Well, I'll post it on YouTube. Here's the link again if you missed the YouTube. I don't know if you subbed to me or not, but it'll be on YouTube probably in a day from now. I'll do a YouTube dump tomorrow. Great job. Thank you. Thank you. We'd like to watch you play in the future, Couch. Thank you so much. Thank you all for the kind words. I really do appreciate that. I'm a small streamer. Just started April 20th. You would buy that t-shirt. That's whenever I do merch. When we get to 2,000 followers, I'll do a buff life. It's ridiculous. That's so funny. All right, let's go. Let's go raid a small streamer. Let's go make someone's day. Okay? Actually, no, that's iffy. That's iffy because I don't know if they're family friendly. I don't think I'm gonna raid today. I usually raid. I like to raid. But, like, a lot of people lately have not been family-friendly. I don't take requests, too, because it's unfair, because so many of you want to request stuff, so I had to block off raid requests. I could check out the category. I don't think we're going to be doing it, though. Anyway, so many notifications on Twitter! Oh my god, everyone's so supportive. Thank you, everyone's following. No, why? What about the raid? But Gladrocker for next PvP Roundtable host. I mean, so I have a Warlord, but it's not max. I have a level 10 Ice Warlord, Logan. Wait, where is he? Where's Logan? By the way, this is Travis Stormstalker. If you see me around Wizard, you'll see me in the arena playing Beastmoon. Say hi to me, please. I look like this. I'm a fraud. I'm a Myth Wizard dressed as a Storm Wizard right here. So this is what I look like. I love the hat, the fakey ollie. Such a good with the wand too. Ooh, what a cool character there. Raid Jetsers. Oh, is Jetsers? Oh, wait a minute. Really? In the Wizard category? I don't take requests usually, but that's a special one. And that makes sense. That's a special one there. Is Jetsers? Not even, yeah. Let's do that. Absolutely, that's a great idea. Let me just pull up the stream real quick. He's painting. That's awesome. That's so good. Thank you for that good idea. But going forward, no requests, please, for raids. Undead, you're not gonna bother. You give a talk. Thank you. Yeah, well, we mentioned it, Undead. We were, yeah. I had that at the very end. Pat actually beat me to it, but there you go. And Undead, they did say they would consider it, right? So that's good. Bob Brasu. He's definitely family friendly, yeah. Alright, just waiting for this ad to finish so I could check out just to make sure. Just to make sure. This ad is playing for a while. That was a 30-second one. Alright, there it is. Let's go make Jetsers Day. Jetsers is a developer at WIZARD101. We're about to raid right now. Here it is. Again, final call. Thank you for the follows so much. Let me put the sub and follow rule back next time I stream Beastmoon. Go there in the corner now. Check me out on those platforms. Let's do the raid. /raid. And Jetsers for real. Copy. And incoming, you're warning him. This is one of the WIZARD101 devs. There it is. Let's go make his day even better. And thank you all of you, thank you so much for making this happen. I mean, without all of you, I couldn't be here, right? 2.5 months of streaming, I wouldn't be here doing this without all of you, so thank you all so much. Love you all so much. I'll probably be back later tonight with a different game, maybe with Clash Royale, maybe get some Minecraft in. I want to bring back some Five Nights at Freddy's 2 at some point. Some Fortnite too. I have so many games I want to play. And of course, whenever Beastmoon's active, you'll see me on Wizard, so stay glad is the catchphrase. So without further ado, stay positive, everyone, and most importantly, say it. Say it with me. Stay glad. Catch you all later tonight. That's the plan.